I have long existed as a flicker in the fog, a ghost, a spirit, a fragment of a person, tethered to the world yet unable to touch it. My life, if it can be called that, began as a vague promise, a purpose given to me by my mother, Marika, long ago, from within the heart of the Erd Tree. But that purpose, once a beacon, became a distant whisper. My memories are a broken mosaic of what I once was, a life burned and bodiless. The truth of my origins is a cruel mystery, lost in the aether, leaving me with only a profound emptiness and the constant cold ache of my hands, marked by the fire that consumed my physical form. My name, Melina, shares a rhythm with my siblings, Melina and Miquella, as if we were a trinity forged by the same hand. I recall Mesmer, my younger brother, a figure shrouded in shadow, and a shared vision of fire that haunted us both. Our lineage, born of Marika and Radagon, is a duality reflected in my very essence. There is a strange, unsettling feeling of being an unwritten chapter in the world's history, a demigod who, unlike the others, is nowhere to be found in the grand lore of the lands between. The very files of the world know me as Marika of Daughter, a simple, stark fact that confirms my parentage, but reveals none of the pain that followed. In my mind's eye, I see flashes of a different life, a life where I, an Empyrean, was the wielder of Destined Death, a godslayer commanding the power of the Black Flame and leading the Godskin Apostles. I recall a furious, terrible battle against a great beast, Maliketh, Marika's shadow. He was the one who defeated me, sealing away Destined Death and, in doing so, left me a spirit, a mere shadow of my former self. The mark on my closed eye, a claw-like symbol, is not merely a detail, it is the physical memory of that defeat, a curse mark left by the very beast that stripped me of my power. It serves as a constant, silent reminder of my lost purpose. I often feel a strange, disquieting resonance with another, Rani. She too is a spirit, a soul without a body, walking a path of defiance against the greater will. Our fates are similar, two Empyreans who lost their physical forms in the struggle against the Golden Order. While her body lies discarded on a tower, mine was simply consumed, leaving me burned and bodiless in this half-existence. This shared tragedy forms a bond that transcends mere lineage, a silent understanding between two beings caught in the wake of cosmic conflict. Yet, I am not entirely alone in my wandering. I have a companion, Torrent, the spectral steed, who has been with me since before my memories faded. He is a kindred spirit. Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on his side. We found him here, after all. One of his kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order. A being of the Shadow Realm who has seen and carried me through countless days of listless searching. Some whisper that he was a gift from Miquella, a kind gesture from a brother who sought to help me in a quest he foresaw. Regardless of his origins, he is my sole connection to this world, my anchor in this bodiless existence. The lands between are a world in disarray, its inhabitants devoid of the grace that once guided them. I watched, a silent observer, as the Tarnished of no renown stumbled through the fog, a soul without a maiden, a Tarnished without grace, a lost thing searching for a purpose it cannot name. But in this one, I saw a flicker of possibility, a vessel that could carry me where I could not go myself. My accord was a simple proposal, born of pragmatism and a singular, driving need. I manifested before them at a sight of grace, a blue aura outlining my form, and offered a pact. I would act as their finger maiden, a role I could not truly claim. Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. offer you an accord. Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the two fingers, offering guidance and aid to the Tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning wounds into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree. In return, I asked them to take me with them on their journey to the foot of the Erd Tree, to a place I felt an inexplicable draw. I knew my purpose was a long-lost thing, a vague ache in my soul, but something deep within me knew that the answer lay within that great golden tree. My lie, the pretense of being a maiden, was a subversion of the greater will's ordained path. The lands between are too broken to be healed by conventional means, and so I used the system against itself, co-opting its rituals to fulfill a purpose that lay far outside of its design. I gave them the power to turn their runes into strength, an innate ability I possess as a child of Marika. More importantly, I bequeathed Torrent to them. The spectral steed, my only companion, chose this Tarnished, and so I gave them the spectral steed whistle. This bond, between the Tarnished and Torrent, was the true foundation of our partnership, for it was Torrent who had first chosen them, and I was simply a vessel for his will. We were a trio, bound by a shared, unspoken destiny. Our journey was a slow, deliberate uncovering of the world's tragic secrets. As the Tarnished gained strength, a strange clarity began to return to me. The closer we traveled to the Erd Tree, the more I felt my lost purpose stirring within me. It was a tangible shift. When we finally reached the capital, Leyndell, I felt a new sense of agency. The bonds of my bodiless state began to loosen, and I remarked that I could move freely. My soul was drawing closer to its source, and in doing so, it was reclaiming its power and its memories. I found myself able to do more than simply guide them in their journey. At the third church of Marika, I felt the spoken echoes of my mother, Queen Marika the Eternal, and conveyed her broken wisdom to my companion. The Tarnished's path was not only for them, it was also the key to my own liberation, a physical quest that mirrored my internal search for meaning. My companion grew strong, and our journey led us to the Elden Throne, where we faced Morgott, the Omen King. He was my half-brother, a child of Marika and Godfrey, now a withered loyalist to the greater will. I joined the battle as a summon, wielding my blade of calling and using the very Erd Tree incantations that are my birthright, fighting for a new future against the decay of the old. But our path was blocked. The thorns that surrounded the Erd Tree could not be pierced, a final defense by the greater will against those who would seek its heart. It was at this moment, resting at the Elden Throne site of grace, that my true purpose, so long lost, returned to me with a flood of painful clarity. My journey to the Erd Tree was not for entry, but to remember what must be done. The only way forward was to commit a cardinal sin, to set the Erd Tree aflame. It was not my mother's design, but a path I now set for myself. My purpose was no longer an echo, it was a fire I was willing to kindle. But now, I told my companion, I act of my own volition. I have set my heart upon the world that I would have, regardless of my mother's designs. My companion, the Tarnished, followed me to the mountaintops of the Giants, a desolate place where the flame of ruin still flickered within the forge. I knew this was my final destination, the place where my story would either end in sacrifice or twist into a new beginning. We had come this far, and there was no turning back. At the edge of the great cauldron, I made my last plea. "Are you prepared?" I asked, "to commit a cardinal sin?" This was the moment of truth, a question that would define not only my fate, but the future of the lands between. The fire of the Giants, the same flame that my ancestor, the Fell God, once wielded, was the only thing capable of burning the Erd Tree. I, the Kindling Maiden, with a vision of fire in my soul, was the only one who could wield it. I recited a solemn prophecy, a verse I now understood to be about myself. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death. It was an elegant truth. My journey with the Tarnished, the path of the flame, was always destined to end in death, my own. I laid my hand upon them, a final moment of contact, and then surrendered myself to the ancient fire, becoming the kindling required to burn away the thorns. My last thoughts were of gratitude. I thanked my companion for guiding me, for being the vessel that carried me to this fate, for allowing me to fulfill the purpose for which I had been burned and bodiless for so long. In the searing agony of the forge, my spirit finally found its purpose, a tragic but necessary end to a long, winding journey. O Erd Tree, you shall burn. Burn for the sake of the new Lord. Thank you for guiding me here. The one who walks alongside flame shall one day meet the road of destined death. Goodbye. But there is a path where my story does not end in fire. A terrible, forbidden path that leads to a different destiny. I warned my companion against it, pleaded with them to turn back from the abyss of the Frenzied Flame. It is chaos, devouring life and thought unending, I told them. I believed in the beauty of a world where life endures, where new births continue, no matter how ruined it may be. Yet, they embraced the madness. They became the Lord of Chaos, and in doing so, they absolved me of my final purpose. I was no longer a kindling maiden, destined to burn myself away. I was free. I appeared before them, not as a guide, but as a sworn enemy. My closed eye, the mark of my past defeat, finally unsealed, revealing the gloam-colored pupil that lay beneath. This was my true form, the agent of destined death. Lord of Frenzied Flame. I will seek you as far as you may travel. to deliver you what is yours. Destined Death. The power of the Gloam-Eyed Queen, a power that was meant to hunt gods, was now fully awakened within me. I made a new vow, a solemn promise that would define my existence for all eternity. I will seek you as far as you may travel, I proclaimed, to deliver you what is yours. Destined Death. My purpose was no longer to sacrifice myself for the world's renewal, but to act as its final guardian, to ensure that the unholy chaos of the flame could not consume everything. I am no longer a kindling maiden. I am a deliverer of death, a hunter of gods, and the one who will, one day, put an end to the Lord of Chaos. If you enjoyed this type of format, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to Ray's Gaming Chronicles. For support, check out my Patreon and other channels in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.